Okay, a lot of times when you're studying, you're not really provided an answer key to study from, but this looks like a pretty detailed solution to me. And I want to see if I can understand what's written down. Of course, I wrote it down, so I'm trying to understand what I've written down. And the first thing it looks like I'm doing is a U substitution. And over here I made another error, and I got to correct that. That's going to be dx, but I'll correct that. So this stands to reason. Looks like, we're doing the last problem, so to speak. All right. So doing this over here, the original integration is written down here. And what I want to do is go through it in steps. All right. So the first step I want to do is I want to do this step over here. And what's that going to be? That's going to be, 1 plus 1 over u squared. And this one over here, relatively simple. It's 1 plus 1 over u to the 2022. And then what's the dx going to be? The dx is going to be minus 1 over u squared du. I got that covered. I got the 1 covered. Let's do the limits. This reminds me of the last problem, by the way. And this one over here says you're approaching 0 from the right side. And if you do that, the u would have to be approaching infinity for that to occur. And the other one is if you go to infinity, the u would have to be approaching the 0 from the right side. All right, so I got that covered. The next thing up here is to try to simplify it. And what I want to do is try to understand this next step. And to do that, I don't know, I guess one thing I could do, let me write this down for you. So it's 1. This is 1 plus 1 over u squared. And then 1 plus 1 over u to the 2022. And I already have 1 over u squared over there. I'm going to associate this with this factor. Let me write that down for you. What are you going to get? You get 1. Then you get u squared plus 1. I'm still left with this thing. And what I'm going to do is multiply the top and the bottom by u to the 2022. Well, on top you get u 2022. On bottom, I still get the first factor of u squared plus 1. What's the second factor going to be? Let's see, u 2022 plus 1. All right, let me show you where that's written down. And I see that here. All right, so I'm going to say that's covered. All right, and kind of looking at that, what I'm going to do is, let's see how I did there. I did okay. And let's see what we can do now. I guess I can reverse the order of the limits in this one by just taking its opposite. Stands to reason, I got this over here. Okay, what I want to point out, I'm going to start to, I understand each step so far. Let me erase this business over here. And I'm at a place where I'm looking at and wonder, did that help me at all? It did. And I'll tell you why. I'm looking at this integration over here. And I'm saying it's identical to this integration over here. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get this integration here back in terms of x's. And all I got to do is let u equal x. Oops, sorry about that. And that means du would equal dx. Relatively simple. So what do I get over here? Well, the left side is still the left side. And the right side now, what am I doing? Oh, made another error. Notice it right over here. I got to make 2 corrections already. This is going to be dx now. I'll correct that. You're not going to see that, by the way. Okay, so I have that, and I'm looking at it, and then I wonder what I'm going to do with that. All right? So what I did was I multiplied both sides by 2. All right, that's over here. Let me get my eraser out. I'm multiplying both sides by 2. So I have 2 of these guys, so I just put it down, 2 of them. Let me see if I can do that. And 2 of those guys. Let me see what I did over there. No, I didn't multiply both sides by 2. I got to rethink what I just said. All right, let me erase this over here. Again, let me put my correction down. This is dx. What I did was I added this to both sides, all right? So that would make this 2 of these things here, and then it would be just adding it to both sides, all right? Relatively simple. Let me just, again, we're just working through a key at this point. Again, this is dx. I keep erasing that. So I'm looking at this, and I want to point out what I'm doing over there. Well, if you look at it, I can just add those 2 together, and you get this over here. Then what I do, I divide up both sides by 2, I get 1/2. So I'm pretty clear on that step. Again, I know I keep erasing that. So I'm over here. I got this equal to this. Then the question comes is, can I do the integration? I can. What is it going to be? 1/2, 0 to infinity. This cancels off, certainly on that interval, I don't have to worry about it. And we left off with 1/1 plus x squared dx. That's written right here. Then what I do, I wrote down the limit because it's an improper interval. What's improper about it going towards infinity? A, this over here. And do I know this guy's antiderivative? I do. It's arctangent. Let me just write that down for you. This is going to be equal 1/2 the limit. A goes to infinity. That's arctan of x evaluated from 0 to a. And if you pop the a in there, you get the arctan of a. If you pop the 0 in there, arctan of 0 is 0, and that's how this line is coming up over here. Do I know the limit is as a goes to infinity of arctangent? I do. So it's going to be 1/2 times pi over 2. It's going to give you pi over 4. All right, stands to reason, and we're good to go. Thank you.